All right, hot dogs. Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is, in fact, my retro gaming podcast, where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 331. And we are finally covering a game that many a fan has requested over the years, Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shard. That's my one Shards joke, I promise. It's Crystal Shards. Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards. Here's the thing with Kirby, okay? I thought I hated that guy. I thought I hated Kirby. I've said many times that as a kid, I blew all of my birthday and Christmas money that I had been saving up for months on Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy. It's the first game I ever bought with my own money, and then I beat it the night I brought it home, and it kind of became my villain origin story. But I really like Kirby's Adventure on the NES, and I really like Kirby Superstar on the Super Nintendo, and I really liked Kirby in the Forgotten Land on the Nintendo Switch. And while I don't like this one as much as those three, I liked Kirby 64. So maybe I don't hate Kirby. You know, yeah, like his games are easy and they're kind of slow, but you know what? Not every game needs to be like turn my beard a little bit more gray difficult. Some would say I'm easy and kind of slow. There's something to be said for just kind of playing a fun, chill game, and that's what Kirby 64 is. It's classic Kirby, side-scrolling, eating, flying, eating, stealing powers, eating. It doesn't do anything special, but it doesn't really do anything wrong. It's a little irritating to try to collect all of the crystal shards, but it's a pretty solid little game, and it keeps things 2D. Like, it's a 3D game, but it's 2D. You just use the D-pad to move around instead of the Nintendo 64's fucking analog stick, and I like that. So my guest this week to talk Nintendo's most adorable character is our most adorable co-host, pending Remember the Game Hall of Famer, Mark McCue. We've been talking about covering both Kirby 64 and Yoshi's Story on Remember the Game for some time now. I promise y'all Yoshi's Story is coming at some point. But this week, we're talking eating, flying, and kicking it. My notes are written out. And it was like, fuck, how did I butcher that? I had it all written out here. It says, but this week, we're talking eating, flying, and kicking it with our boy King Dedede in this simple but charming Kirby 64. And I fucked it all up anyways. We'll get there in just a minute because speaking of being simple and charming, it's time for another edition of our stupid, infamous intro. Damn it. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome, and consider this your two warnings. One, our little pre-ramble there isn't usually as crappy as that one was. And number two, our intros are long, okay? They're not that long. They're fun. We talk video games and stuff. They're a good time. They're even easier to skip than it is to beat a Kirby game. You just slide your little thing to about the 30-minute mark, and the Kirby chat will talk. I would recommend signing up for our Patreon because all Remember the Games are now available over there ad-free. In addition to the hundreds upon hundreds, there's almost 1,000 bonus podcasts over there and all the new ones that go live every week. Remember the Game is now available to our Patreons ad-free with timestamps, including the entire 330 episode back catalog. So you can fire one up, skip past the intro, and just listen to whatever game chat anytime you want. So check that out. Let me get my plugs in here. It's how we keep the bills on, and then we'll get into the answering questions and all that kind of stuff. All of our merchandise. Oh, speaking of our merchandise, shout out to everyone that came by our booth at the Calgary Expo this weekend. I met a whole bunch of you. It was awesome. I have to say, like, when I was a lad, I really just wanted to have friends, and I really just wanted to be popular, and now I'm very awkward around people. So if you came by the booth and I seem weird or awkward, I apologize. I am fucking weird and awkward, but it was so rad, man. We met so many of you, and like we signed stuff and took pictures, and anyone that came by and bought a shirt or a hoodie or a poster or anything like that, it's fucking awesome. Thank you all so much. Shout out to my boy Daniel for giving me a hand running the booth. And it was fucking really sick. I got to meet a whole lot of you guys. It was awesome. So thank you to everybody that came by. If you want to check out our merch, you can find out at rememberthegamepodcast.com. It was designed by my man Joe from 4545 Creative. Great way to support the show. And as I've already plugged, so I'll be quick, we do have a Patreon. It is the lifeblood of the show. We publish up to 4 extra podcasts over there every week. So you can have an episode on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then some Fridays. They don't have any ads in them. You can skip around, do whatever you want. You can start for as little as $3 a month. You can also write into the show, vote on the games we cover, join our 1,000+ member Discord, get instant access to the entire bonus archives, and you can get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name. Like, I don't think I'm going to do to any of these people. I think I'm going to nail this one. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons, Jake73Z, Lucky Leper, Big Meanie Partini. That sounds like a wrestling name. Jason Wilder, Jake Perkins, and Skrilla. Skrilla sounds like a wrestling name as well. Thank you all so much for the support, and welcome to Remember the Game Industries, patreon.com/rememberthegame. And if you sign up free, you get 12 months free. That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. And our first blower this week is asking the, here in Canada, $699 question. Vic to the face said, Adam, I need to know, did you pre-order a Switch 2? And if so, congratulations. Now you will never be able to afford a nourishing meal again after that price tag. So what groceries are you planning to sacrifice? In all seriousness, I was able to line up and grab the Mario Kart bundle at a GameStop, and June 5th cannot come soon enough. Congratulations, Vic to the face. Yes, I have probably been asked this at least 6 times over the last week and a half. I did, or I guess, no, it's not a week and a half. Whatever, however long it's been since the Switch 2 went up. I did. I managed to get one the night they went live over on the old Walmart site. I got the Mario Kart bundle as well. It is done, locked in. Hopefully they don't cancel it. I won't be able to play it. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast yet, but the missus and I are going away for a little while on a nice little trip. So we're going to be gone for a couple of weeks. To kick off June, have no fears. I plan on having everything pre-recorded and set up, so you shouldn't miss much for the world of podcasts. But I'll actually be gone when the Switch 2 drops, so I won't be able to get my hands on one until about 10 days after it's been in the wild. So I'm a little bit, and when I say a little bit, I mean it literally. I'm like 2% upset that I'm going to have to wait almost an extra 2 weeks to play Mario Kart, but at the same time, I'm going on an awesome trip with my awesome wife, fiance, girlfriend. I'm going to call her all those things because she kind of is all those things, and we're pretty excited. But I did manage to get one. So for all of you asking, yes, I got one. I hope if you wanted one, you got one as well. Diddly Kong, formerly Schlong, said, you've said before that the Sega Genesis in general has better sound than the Super Nintendo. I think Genesis appeals to you specifically because of the twangy sound it has. It's more punk rock. SNES soundtracks are often more crisp and light, like a pop song. The Genesis's mission was always to be edgier than the Super Nintendo, and I think the audio was designed with that in mind. Sonic is punk rock, Mario is pop. You might be onto something. I will say, though, away from video games, I actually like pop. I like punk rock too, but I love pop music. That is my preferred genre. But you are right. Sega games have that twangy is a great way to describe it. It's so weird. I like the way, and I'm speaking generally here. I like the way Super Nintendo games play better than Sega Genesis games, but I like the way Genesis games look and sound better than Super Nintendo games. They look like Saturday morning cartoons, and they are twangy. Why does it have to be twangy? Shout out to when he gets that semi-reference, but well said. JB Sharps said, hey, Blank, a simple blow this week. Are there any games you wish you didn't hate? Oh, God. Yes. The number one, what comes to mind above all else is Metal Gear Solid. Because I've been vocal. I don't like Metal Gear Solid. The first one, 2 and 3, and I'm done. But there's probably not a bigger IP like series out there that I don't like, and I wish I did. I also will say Castlevania Symphony of the Night, although like I don't hate that game. I just discovered it too late, and as a Metroidvania snob, it's hard to go back to the archaic systems in that one. So I don't know if I would say I hate Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but I do hate Metal Gear Solid, and I wish I didn't. That would probably be the one. I'm fine with hating Echo the Dolphin. I'm fine with hating Alien Isolation. I'm fine with hating Splinter Cell. I'm fine with hating... What else do I hate? Sonic Adventure 2. Although I will say, if that whole game was Sonic and Knuckles levels or Sonic and Shadow levels, it would be fine. But Metal Gear Solid. If I really wish they just clicked with me. I don't know why they don't. Oh well. Weaver T said if you could snap your fingers and set gaming technology back 40 years to 1985, would you do it? Everything that currently exists still would, but everything going forward would have to follow the same timeline of progression as the last 40 years. I got to be honest, I don't quite understand your question, Weaver. So, if you could snap your fingers and set gaming tech back 40 years, would you do it? Everything that currently exists still would. So, are you saying that like... Oh, I see. But going forward, we'd have to follow the same timeline of progression for the last 40 years. So, like, we'd be in gaming in 1985 today? So like the NES and shit would be big today, and then over the next 40 years we get everything we've had. No, I wouldn't. I prefer retro gaming. I prefer the NES, the Super Nintendo, the Genesis. I prefer everything up to about the PS2, GameCube, Xbox, Dreamcast generation to modern gaming. I mean that sincerely. Call me old if you will, but I do. I prefer the days before microtransactions and always online and game patches and dead games and shit like that. I prefer the old days of gaming, but I have someone that like, there's nothing else except maybe pro wrestling that I've followed for the 40 years that I've been alive. Like I have gaming, and I've loved seeing the progression. And I want to see what happens over the next, 6 or 7 months before I die. So I don't know if I'd want to restart and have to go through it all again. So while I love it, no, I'll keep it the way it is. And I want to see where gaming goes over the next 40 years. Or 6, 7 months, whatever the fuck. Legendberry said, hey, Mr. Blank, I wish you well in your post-recovery phlegm adventures. Thanks. Thank you, Legendberry. I'm catching up on old episodes, just got to GoldenEye Part 2, and I notice you have an almost explosive passion for Bomberman. I hear you get a bit giddy at the thought of it before quickly moving on, probably knowing you could easily add 30 minutes here or there to any episode if you get carried away talking about how fun it is. I've only played it on the DSi with my sisters, and while we'd get frustrated and move on after a couple of rounds, we'd always make our way back to that game. Do you think you would have loved it as much playing with a few friends on your own screens, or do you think the ultimate way to play is on one TV? I will say, I do love Bomberman, and we are going to show Bomberman. Like, it has been, we're at 331 episodes, and Bomberman has gotten no love on the show, and that's horseshit. We are going to change that. Whether, right now, he's leading our Patreon poll for this month, it'd be Bomberman 64, but win or lose, something Bomberman is going to find its way onto the show this year. As far as your question, do I think the ultimate way to play Bomberman is on one TV? Yes, I do. When you're sitting there with 2 or 3 friends and you're just arguing with each other and yelling at each other and trapping each other and sabotaging and working together and stabbing each other in the back, and there's nothing better. Or if you're the kid like me who always seems to trap himself in the corner with bombs and blowing himself up, damn it. Yes, that is where it is at its best. That said, I do think there's a place for multi-screens. There was a Bomberman Battle Royale game, and I can't remember what it's called now. And when they first announced it, I played it on Switch a little bit, and the concept was fucking awesome. But then the game sucked. Like, the load times were brutal. It took forever to find a game, and it just died very quickly, and it wasn't very good. But the concept was rock solid. So I think there's a place for multi-screen Bomberman, especially for something like that, where you could get potentially up to like 50, 60 players involved. But yes, the best Bomberman experience, be it classic 2D Bomberman or Bomberman 64, the best Bomberman experience is on one screen yelling at each other. 100%. Oh, I really do love Bomberman. I really do love that little guy. Sam Pedego said, first off, Adam, good morning. I'm hoping you're having a blessed Sunday. It's Tuesday afternoon now, but yeah, I'm doing good. I've always wondered, have you ever revoked somebody's Patreon status because of what they did in the Discord or because of a letter they wrote to the show? I'm just curious. Also, is there a chance you'll ever do Empire Strikes Back or Super Return of the Jedi? If you don't have either, then I have a cartridge of the former that I can send you. Okay, to touch the second one first, thank you, Sam. A lot of people offer to send me games for the show. I'm going to very graciously decline because I would never want to risk something happening to somebody's game. And yes, I love Super Star Wars on the SNES. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I will buy the rest of the Super Nintendo games and buy them and play 1,000,000%. That's going to happen. To go to your first question, have I ever revoked someone's Patreon status because of something they did in the Discord or because of a letter they wrote to the show? Never because of something anyone's ever written into the show. I think in the entire almost 7 years the show has been around, I don't think I've blocked 10 people on social media, and I think I've only banned... I think 3 people from our Patreon, and they've either been because they've insulted other members of the community, or they've like personally insulted me. And you can insult me and be like, Adam, you're a fucking idiot and shit. I don't care. One was we do our extra live stream every year, and Shaylee and I donate a portion of the Patreon income that we make like to that charity. And I'm not sitting here trying to blow smoke on my own ass, but we do up to $5,000, 5% of our Patreon up to $5,000. And that's money coming out of our pockets. Like, I'm not a big industry. I don't have like a fucking business float savings account that I pay myself out of. What the show makes is my income to our household. And we donate up to $5,000 of that money, of our money, to the Stollery every year as part of Extra Life. And I don't say that out loud here to like blow smoke up my own ass or suck my own dick or anything. But we had somebody mocking us for doing it, and that pissed me off. So the only people I think I've ever kicked out of here are people that have insulted other, like, just insulted people in the community and just been assholes, like, and disrupted everybody. And disagreeing with people isn't that. It's when you get personal and you're just a fucking cunt. Somebody insulting us for donating money to the children, and then I never actually banned them from Patreon. I don't know if you're still on Patreon. If you are and I ever find you, you're done. But one person attacked my dog. Not physically, but made like talk shit about the way we took care of our dog when she was dying last year. You can go fuck it. If you get personal, you can go fuck yourself. But I've never banned someone for disagreeing with me, and I never will. So I don't care. Disagree with me all you want. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Go ahead. I think it makes for better radio. Disagree with me. I'm fine with it. We got to keep going. I still got a few more to get here. Mr. Satan said, I just got back from Japan with my wife and kids. While it was fun, I hope to return when they're older so we can really enjoy the Akihabara Electric Town. I'm not sure what that is. Is there anything you would do or not do if you go back? I was thinking of the go-karts, but I was told they are hated by locals. I only found one arcade, sadly. Yeah, when we did the go-karting in Tokyo, it was fucking sick, but we were told that, yeah, like the locals fucking hated it. The only things we wanted, because we do want to go back to Japan eventually. I want to get out of Tokyo because we spent our entire time in Tokyo. I'd like to see more of Japan. And I really, really want to go to sumo wrestling. And there wasn't any when we were there. But we did go to a baseball game at the Tokyo Dome, which was fucking sick. But I really want to see some sumo wrestling. Oldfinger said, what games do you think each of the Ninja Turtles would be into? I think Donatello would be a classic Nintendo fan. Mikey would be into playing online, especially Fortnite. I see Raph being into fighting games, and Leo liking tactical RPGs. I read this, Oldfinger, with the intention of replacing your answers with other ones, but I actually agree with all 4. With the exception of Donnie, I could see being like a hardcore PC Master Racer. Like maybe like a super high-tech rig and like all the bells and whistles and like simulation racing and VR and all that stuff. I could see that. But Mikey's definitely into stuff like Fortnite. Raph is definitely into fighting games. And I can see Leo being like tactical RPGs or real-time strategies or like Civilization 7, like that kind of stuff. So well said, though. I when I read it, I was like, fuck, you nailed it. Well done, Oldfinger. And finally, before we move on, it's letter time. It's letter time. MBT Live 1979 said, hello, Adam. I'm a 45-year-old dad of 2, and video games have been my life since before the NES. The Super Nintendo and Xbox 360 eras are my favorite. Now that you're older, do you find that you buy a lot of games just to own because of the nostalgia behind them are better than the game? I don't play my older games as much as I used to, but will never part with them. Am I the only one? I made the mistake. I've told this before, so I'll be fast. I have made the mistake of selling my classic game collection about 15 years ago, and I regret it daily. At Calgary Expo this weekend, I saw a copy of Earthbound for $450, and I was like, I fucking sold mine for like $200. Fucking idiot. So to get to your, I'll never part with my old games. No, you're smart. Never, unless you need the money for food, never sell your old games. As far as your question, do I buy a lot of games just to own them because of the nostalgia behind them is better than the game? Not a lot, but yes, some. I have gotten back into collecting. I didn't intend to, but remember the game, the passion and it just got in my blood. And I have started recollecting old games. But I'm not buying everything I can get my hands on. I'm just buying my favorite games for each system, or I buy games for the podcast. So like I've been working on an NES collection now for about a year and a half. I think it's up to about, I don't know, it's probably up to about 30 games right now. And there's still another 30 or 40 I'd like to add, but I don't want to go complete or anything like that. I just want my favorites. Because nostalgia is a powerful drug. And there's something to be said for just plopping down in a chair and sliding Mega Man 2 into my NES and firing it up and playing it. So I do buy games just for nostalgia, but very, very selectively. Because it's fucking expensive and they take up space, you know? And so many old games are available now that like I need to have a real connection to a game to go out and spend $40 on a cartridge when I could just fucking play it for free. You know what I mean? So never sell your collection. Thank you for writing in. Thank you, everybody, for all the submissions. We got to keep this ball rolling. We're running behind, so let's switch things up and get to our Smash It segment, the official game show. Remember the game industries. Play one, remake one, erase one. Pew, pew. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our Patreons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. We'll get there in just a minute. This week we're talking Kirby 64. So I went with 3 of Nintendo's, and I'm saying this with air quotes, B tier Nintendo 64 games. And that's Star Fox 64, Yoshi's Story, and F-Zero X. And I'm not saying those games are bad, but they're not the Marios and the Zeldas and the Pokemons. And I only consider you B tier compared to Zelda. You understand. So 35% of you said you would play F-Zero X, remake Star Fox 64, and erase Yoshi's Story. Let's go through a few of your answers, and then I'll tell you what the right answer is. Gilded Jackal. Every time I read that name, I think of that Family Guy, where they're playing like, what is it, Pictionary, where you have to draw stuff? Like, is that what I think it's Pictionary? And Stewie's drawing, and the fucking guy on his team is like, is it a jackal? It's a jackal. Is that a jackal? It's a jackal, right? That's a jackal. It's a jackal. And then they're like, time. And Stewie goes, it wasn't right the first time you said it. Why would it be right every other time? It just fucking kills me. Anyways, Gilded Jackal, it's a jackal, says, play Yoshi's Story. It's short enough to burn through a full playthrough before the nostalgia wears off. Remake F-Zero X. The F-Zero franchise gets no love, and that needs to change yesterday. Lastly, erase Star Fox 64. It had a good run, but the best thing since Star Fox 64 was the 3DS remake of Star Fox 64, CS Space Cowboy. Sound logic. F-Zero does need some love. I fucking agree. F-Zero 99 was a good step. But let's get a new game, Nintendo. Let's go now. Young Liam said, first time jumping in on one of these. I think I'd have to play F-Zero since I never have, and the N64 is the generation that has the best racing games in my opinion, which makes it worth trying. That is a fucking hot take, Young Liam. I would love... This is one of those instances, and I'm not shitting on your opinion at all, because Diddy Kong Racing, F-Zero, Mario Kart, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, the 64's got some fucking great racers, but I would love to be doing a live stream of this fucking recording and just seeing what some of the people in the chat have to say to that take. That is four alarms out of 5 for a hot take. I love it. Well done, Young Liam. So anyways, I'm going to play F-Zero because it's one of the games from the best generation of racing. I have a lot of good memories of playing Star Fox, but it is certainly too short to do a one-for-one remake. I feel that this game is a perfect candidate to be bent into a roguelike. The length and variation of paths alongside an upgrade system for your ship and increasing difficulty and challenges could make for a very addictive gameplay loop. This leaves Yoshi's Story to be erased. While it is charming as ever with a banging theme song, it never hooked me as a kid gameplay-wise, and I have no urge to give it another go. I don't like Star Fox, but a roguelike Star Fox? Now you're tickling my taint a little bit. Eric M. from Parts Unknown said, finally a POROEO where I've played all 3. I would play Yoshi's Story. It's a fun game with a nice aesthetic, plus the thought of a new upgraded Baby Mario crying sound makes me want to drive into a wall. Speaking of hitting walls, remake F-Zero X. I always wanted to play that game with modern Wipeout-like graphics. That leaves poor Fox McCloud and crew on the unemployment line. As cool as it was at the time, it comes off as more of a tech demo than a game, and Rogue Squadron does the same thing much better. Now that I have finished using my brain, I will go back to killing it with beer. Nice pull. Sound answers. Good answers this week, you guys. Well done. Detective Beans said, I'm one of the... If I ever go missing, please call Detective Beans. I'm one of the few that loves Star Fox 64 as it is. Huge nostalgia bias. It's already been remade for the 3DS, so I'll play the 64 version as it is. I loved Yoshi's Story back in the day too. I'd love to see a slight graphical upgrade and quality of life improvements, so I'll remake that. And I do enjoy F-Zero, but I didn't grow up with it compared to the other two, so that will have to be erased because them's the rules. I have no problem with any answers. There's not a wrong answer this week. There really isn't a wrong answer this week. David Dryden said, play Yoshi's Story. Love the games? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm not sure why that yeah is in there. Is that like an LA night? Play Yoshi's Story. Love the games. Yeah. Remake F-Zero. Give it a polish and put it on the Switch too with new maps. And we've got gold. And we've got gold. Erase Star Fox. It's the best Star Fox, but the best of a bad series of games is just okay. So into the erase bin you go. Voice cracking all over the place here. I'm going with 14% of you. This was the easiest one I've had to do in quite a while. Cannibal Corey felt the same way I did. And I know I'm going on a lot of tangents today. I'm in a good mood. I like that Cannibal Corey's avatar, presuming that's you in your picture on Patreon, Corey. You look like such a nice bloke. Like you just look like a very nice, friendly, happy person. But then your name just is casually Cannibal Corey. I like that. Cannibal Corey said, God damn, that's a tough one. I was the perfect age for the 64, and I had all three of these from the jump pretty much. Star Fox has to go. Remake F-Zero or make an actual good new one. Yoshi's Story is perfect and as charming as ever. If you told me this was a new mainline game, I'd believe it. They really just understood what Nintendo does. P.S. What about if Star Fox was more of a sim and more hardcore on the flying mechanics? Good luck landing that A-Wing. I just don't need Star Fox. The roguelike one maybe, but... Anyway, I'm going in the same order as Cannibal Corey. Play Yoshi's Story because it's the only one of these three that I haven't, and I don't like to erase games I haven't played. I'm remaking F-Zero X because, god damn it, it's time for a new F-Zero, and I'm erasing Star Fox because I just don't like Star Fox. And I'm okay with that. That's not what I wish I liked. I'm fine not liking Star Fox. So thank you, everybody that wrote in as always. What have I been playing? Let's rip through these, then we'll take a break, and then it's all Kirby 64. I've been playing a lot. So I've been playing Kirby 64. I'm going to tell you all about that in a minute. I've been playing Hot Shots Golf. It's been very, very good. Probably going to be Remember the Game next week if everything goes according to plan. I've been playing Okami, which won the Pre-March Madness Patreon Poll Tournament Extravaganza back in February. And I have probably started and stopped it twice on my Steam Deck, and I just can't get into it. And then today, I finally downloaded it on my PS5 and thought, maybe I'll give it a shot on a bigger screen and see if it works a little better for me. And it is finally clicking. I still think it's a... Keep in mind, I'm only about 2 hours in. I think Okami is a mediocre game with a fucking gorgeous body. Like, it is the sexiest, one of the best looking games I've ever played. The gameplay loop isn't really wetting my whistle yet, but I'll stick with it. I'll give it some time. So those are the old games I'm playing. And then for modern stuff, I was playing Blueprints and I was loving it for the first week or so, but I'm so sick of the RNG now that I've kind of lost interest and I might be done with Blueprints. And that really disappoints me. I'm going to do a mini indie review in the next couple weeks on Expansion Pass. And one of the games I plan on covering is a quick review of Blueprints, like a 10-15 minute review. A couple of changes, and that might be my game of the year right now. But I'm really sick of the bad room draws fucking me over. Like, I've really had enough of it. So, kind of done with Blueprints. I did finally fire up Expedition 33 last night, and I just played the first, like, half hour or so. Rose Petals, if you know, you know. Curious to see what that's all about. And then at the Calgary Expo, I needed something to play on my Switch while I was just sitting there at the booth with nothing going on. So I finally started replaying Hollow Knight with the intention of dropping an Expansion Pass review of it before Silk Song comes out. And, might just be the best Metroidvania ever, man. Might just be. So that's what I'm playing right now, okay? Let's take a break. We'll let a sponsor in here to peddle their wares. Unless you're a Patreon, then you're just going to get right to game chat. And when we get back, it is all about Kirby 64, okay? We'll be right back after this. This is an ad by BetterHelp. A band once said, "Work sucks, I know." And I think most people agree with them. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress from their jobs. And while walking away from your job might not be an option, taking a little time every day to focus on yourself and your mental health can make a huge difference. I know in the summer I try to get outside every day, get a little bit of sun, and just enjoy the outdoors. It really helps. at least until my allergies attack, and then it's ugly. It's important to take steps to combat work stress, and therapy can be a huge one. It's not just for overcoming trauma. Therapy can help you define work goals, set some work boundaries, develop coping skills. It's like a cheat code for life. And if you're thinking, man, I'm too busy for therapy, well, look into BetterHelp. They make therapy as convenient as possible. You can meet with one of their over 30,000 therapists online and on your schedule, just like over 5 million people around the world already have done. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Unwind from work with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. We've had some great partners over the years here at Remember the Game, but I don't know if any of them have hit home for me quite like Hometown Hero does. No pun intended. Don't start. It's a transparent, honest cannabis company that helps people and gives back to those that have served their country at the same time. I mean, come on. As soon as I read about these guys, I knew I wanted to work with them. Hometown Hero is a cannabis company out of Austin, Texas, and they were founded back in 2015 by a U.S. veteran. They have two goals: create premium hemp products that can help everyone, and to support veterans by donating a portion of those profits to organizations set up to take care of those who have served. Hometown Hero products are of the highest quality, and everything they offer is made right there in the U.S. of A. Gummies, caramels, chocolates, drink mix. There's something for everyone. And what's more, their hemp is grown locally in Texas, which is something they should and do take a lot of pride in. And they offer certificates of analysis for everything they sell because they want to be clear that their products are as advertised, both in terms of potency and ingredients. No contaminants, you get what you pay for. Just how they conduct business is enough to get my good eyes' attention. But when you circle back to the fact that the company was founded by a veteran and they put such heavy emphasis on supporting veterans, this isn't just lip service. I'm not reading a script I was given here. I'm proud to have Hometown Hero associated with Remember the Game. Reclaim your evening. Visit hometownhero.com and use code RTG to take 20% off your first purchase. That's hometownhero.com, code RTG for 20% off your first purchase. All right, let's get into some Kirby 64 talk. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off on the game we're covering before my guest and I hog the microphone. And we had no shortage of people blowing smoke up Kirby's robust ass this week. Legendberry said, I have so much nostalgia for this game. Let me just get that out of the way first. Me and my sisters would spend hours listening to the music and trying to remember different enemies and combinations, and I felt so badass making a lightsaber for the first time, which was Spark and Rock combo, which, for the record, probably my favorite combo in the game. Truly unique title in the best way, probably easier than most Kirby games, but every level feels alive. This game is charming and it will forever hold its place in my heart as a top 10 N64 title. I'm not going to put it in my top 10, but I am quite impressed with it. I really am. Virtue Alex 12 said, I owned this as a kid and I remember it being easy, expected for Kirby, and enjoyable. The ability to combine power still stands out in my mind decades later when I think of this game. Had some spare time today and decided to play the first couple of worlds. Still plays similar to how I remember. However, the number of power-up combos is less than I remember as a kid. It seems like it's going to be a lot at first, but then you start to see different enemies with the same power-up. If this ever comes up on Play, Remake, Erase, I'd probably pick Remake because with modern capabilities, they could give every enemy a unique power, add the ability to combine three, etc. to really make it feel limitless. What is your favorite power-up? I like the Flaming Sword because it destroys everything. Almost felt like a cheat code. Yeah, like I said, I liked the electric lightsaber thing, but I do agree with you, and we're going to get into it in a second with Mark. It is great that you can combine abilities, and I love seeing what the different ability combinations are, but you're right. It's like, and it's not the only Kirby game that offers multiple enemies with the same type of power you get from them, and it does feel a little bit, for lack of a better term, misleading, that it's just like, oh, 4 different enemies will all give me the stone ability or the needle ability, you know? And so you can make combos, but they're the same combos, just you're buying the ingredients from different stores, you know? Cheese said, no question, this is my favorite Kirby game. The copy abilities and the seemingly infinite combinations are enough to keep me occupied for hours on end to see how many possibilities exist in even just one level. I also love King Dedede in this game. He's just so silly and funny to me. Dedede fucking shines in this game. Agreed. Scorch57 2004 said, so many great memories playing it with my sister on the 64. We rented it so much our mom bought it for us. In my opinion, this is the best 3D Kirby game. I have 100% of this game on the 64, the Wii, and the Wii U. I love the ability to combine and mix powers to create completely new and unique ones. So many possibilities. It also didn't feel so childish to me, but more modern and dark for the time. I love the new worlds and bosses. I really wish we got another Kirby game like this. I mean, maybe it's because I'm older, because this came out in 2000, and I was in, like, high school when this came out, so I didn't play it back then. Felt pretty childish to me. It's good. It's good, but I don't know. Felt it came across as very childish to me, but anyway, I digress. Wyatt the Surgeon, who's not a surgeon row, said, I've never not loved a Kirby game, and this one is no different. It's a phenomenal scaling up of the premise, the ability system. Overall, it's a 10 out of 10. Combining copy powers hasn't been brought back, and it absolutely should have been in Forgotten Land. I will always love Kirby. I didn't know nobody loves Kirby. I didn't know anybody loved Kirby, but all right. Let's talk Kirby. That's why you're all here. I guess I like Kirby. I don't know if I'd say I love Kirby, but I like Kirby. I'd have a beer with them. Let's talk Kirby with ye old Mark McCue. I'm going to cue up some Kirby 64 music. And when it stops, we are going to take you back to June 26th of the year 2000 and talk Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards for the Nintendo 64. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Let's go. All right, take two. Fuck me. This episode, the video game gods do not want us to talk Kirby 64 because my computer, my audio, it is trying to stop us. But joining me via the blank phone 2.5 hours before this episode goes live to come hell or high water, talk Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards is Mark McCue. Mark, how are you, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing good. I love how, like, usually we're recording, like, on the other show, we're recording, like, shows, like, a week in advance. And here we're like, this goes live 45 minutes after we finish recording.
Yeah, exactly. We normally, for those of you that don't know, Tuesday night is normally when Mark and I record Purple Monkey Dishwasher for the following Monday. And this week, I was at the Calgary Expo all week and things were busy. We couldn't set shit up. So we're like, we're going to have to do it tonight. And this one is coming in like under the wire. This one is close. But we did it. We got there. We're talking Kirby 64. And I'm going to be honest, like I'm in kind of an irritated mood tonight. I just said to Mark off the air, I think Kirby's going to lose a point tonight, not by any fault of his own, but just it's going to be, I was saying, what was it? What were we just talking about? That Family Guy with
Wilfred Brimley.
Wilfred Brimley. And he's like, the other day I stubbed my toe and took it out on the dog. And I was like, that's I don't have a dog, but right now, but that's how I feel right now. I'm like, I'm going to take it out on Kirby. Fuck's sake. He can take it, that little shit. He's never
look at his face. Like, look at that face and try to be angry with him.
He's punchable. Look at him. He can take it. The man has never faced any kind of adversity in his life. Every one of his games is just run to the right and you'll win. So,
like, he's in so much adversity. Listen, I have never in my life got to a point where I needed to run across 6 worlds to fight a giant duck. That's never happened to me in my life, but if it did, I'd consider that adversity.
I guess so. But he's like offering to help. It's not his fucking, like, this in this game, like that stupid little, I don't know what the fuck. I want to make this clear, okay? Like, I am kind of an irritated mood, so you're going to get sour at him, but like, I like this game. It's going to get a good score. I'm just breaking balls.
It's a pretty good game.
But like that little fucking fairy fly bug thing comes down and is like, oh man, my crystal broke. Will you help me? And Kirby's like, for fuck's, all right. Like, it's not Kirby's fucking problem. I think that's the story anyway. I don't know what the fuck
the story of a single Kirby game. I've played most of them, but I couldn't tell you what the story to any of them are.
No, I couldn't. It's what does Brad Goodman say on The Simpsons? He's like, here's a woman with a bizarre hairstyle and a man with an obvious eating disorder, and the eating disorder thing is Kirby. That's all he does. He just flies around and eats, fucking living his best life.
Eats
I
things that are way too big for him to be eating.
Yeah, I will say, like I said it during the intro. I always thought I hated Kirby because Kirby's Dream Land fucked me over as a kid, and I never forgave him. But then, like, Kirby's Adventure on the NES is good. Kirby Superstar on the Super Nintendo is good. Kirby in the Forgotten Land on the Switch is good. And I gotta say,
I
man,
really like Forgotten Land.
I do too. Yeah, I think of the Kirby games I've played, I think Forgotten Land is my favorite and the best one. This one was I think Kirby 64 is probably my second least favorite now, ahead of only Kirby's Dream Land of the ones I've played. But it's a very good, competent game. Like
It's
I have
I
no real
like
criticism.
Kirby and the Crystal Shards.
Yeah, I like Kirby. Like it's this is one of those games where I'm like, this isn't my game. Like I was in grade 11 when this game came out. I didn't play it until last week.
I
It's
didn't play
pretty
it until the first
easy.
time I played it was like 2 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is a pretty good game." I had an N64. I had like most of the big games that came out for it. I never got to this one. Um, and this kind of game kind of came out in that period where like a lot of these game series didn't really know what to do with the 3D. There's games like this and Yoshi's Story where it's like we look kind of 3D, but we're very, very much still 2D platformers.
Yeah. And I have to say, that's one of the things I had written down about this game that I actually really like is that it looks 3D. And I was because I played it like I have the Nintendo 64 controller for my Switch. So I played it with the Nintendo 64 controller and I expected to have to play it like Mario 64 style with the analog and try to do the fucking semi three like that running around and no it's just blatantly 2D. Like you use the D-pad, you don't even
Yeah,
touch the analog
that was
stick.
weird. Like you can't like I kept trying to use the joystick, and then I was like, "Oh, right, you can't do that in this one."
Yeah.
Which
But
weird to me that that wasn't at least an option.
agreed, but not a complaint by me because I'm an old man who likes his things the way I likes my things, and I likes my things 2D. And so whenever I get a chance to play a Nintendo 64 game where I don't have to use that middle prong and that I hate that controller. When I don't have to use that middle prong and fucking do the 3D thing, I'm like, fuck yeah. Like WWF No Mercy and all my favorite wrestling games on the 64, they use the D-pad. So you just hold it like an old school controller and use the D-pad. And that's the way I likes it. And I liked that about this one. And I think they did a very good job of making a 2D game feel like you're doing 3D, kind of,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
like it does. Like I think it kind of felt a little bit like those like latter day Donkey Kong games where it was 2D, but they were still making use of like the 3D environment.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's a lot of instances in this game where you'll be running down like a linear path, left to right or whatever, like most of the game is. But then the game will almost kind of shift 45, 90 or 90 degrees.
Like the camera
And
will like wrap itself around for you.
yeah, but there is no controlling the camera. There is no leaving the like walk. Like you're only going left and right. There is no depth to it, but the camera kind of gives it that feel. And I liked that because I prefer my games that way. So I was like, if I could, hottest of takes ever. Let's just make all Nintendo 64 games like this. Mario 64, Ocarina of Tim. Let's just make them all 2D with the 3D spice on top. Because I like this so much better. I love not having to fuck around with the camera. And at the end of the day, it's just like playing a Super Nintendo Kirby where everything's made out of Lego bricks.
Yeah, like it's a better looking SNES game.
I don't even know if I'd say better look,
I
different
mean, yeah,
looking.
that's debatable, but like it
Yeah,
is like a 3D textured version of like a Kirby game that you would
yeah.
play on the SNES.
On the note of the graphics, though, I will say because like this came out in 2000, so this is about 4 years into the Nintendo 64's life. Like at this point, they know how to work around the Nintendo 64. I do feel this is a pretty good looking Nintendo 64 game. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
uh,
absolutely.
I mean, it's probably a lot easier to make a Nintendo 64 game look good when you don't have to deal with the 3D. Like, it's there's not nearly as many moving parts and stuff. I'm sure that makes it easier. But I was pretty impressed. Like, it's a pretty good looking fucking game. A lot of variety in the levels. which I really enjoyed. You're in like at some points you're in like a fucking cave underground, you're swimming, you're up in the
Yeah.
clouds, you're in, like it felt nice.
You're
It
in like
looked
an
nice.
ice world, you're like fighting like volcano monsters. Yeah, like it is kind of like it is like a remix of like the same like grass world, desert world, fire world, ice world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like
it's I mean the classics that are in like every game fucking ever.
but then like it'll like surprise you with one. Like there's that one that's kind of like in a toy box, I think is the idea of it or
Mhm. Well, like they do a good job because they make you like they do the thing where you fly from galaxy to galaxy, and that's good and like that's fine. It's an easy way to like do the levels. Now, if I had a criticism of the levels themselves, well, they look great, and this has been a criticism of Kirby most of the time that I've been playing Kirby, and it carries over to this game. There's just outside of and we'll get to the abilities and the combinations, which really are the secret sauce of a Kirby game. There's not a lot of level variety. I'll give them a little bit of credit in this one. There's a couple of levels where you're in like a mine cart with the little wannabe shy guy.
I could have used more stuff like that.
Yeah, me too. Because I like those levels.
Because
They
those
felt
were fun. Those were really fun. Like there's one where you're in a sled. There's one that you're like going down a waterfall. There's like a mine cart. Like I would have loved if there was more of that. And that kind of gets back to like the main problem with this game is it's just too fucking goddamn short. There's
yeah.
so many great ideas that they didn't really fully flesh out.
Well, and that's always been like, and I feel like I've said it on every episode of Kirby we've done on the show, but like that's always been the thing with Kirby. I get that it's at its core, Kirby is like, hey, you've got a younger kid in the family that wants to play video games, get them Kirby. Like, and
It's a
I,
game for children.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
let them beat their
exactly.
brains out.
Yeah. And I'm not even gonna like hold that over his head because I understand that that is what it is. But just because it's got to be easy, like it is short. Like I 100%ed this game, and I think it took me like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like
I
it
didn't I
is.
didn't 100% it. I got to the ending credits and I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty good."
Well, the only like because the only real thing there is to do is to get all those crystal shards, and that is if I. So here's the problem. I want to say that my criticism of Kirby 64 is how annoying it can be to have to travel back to World 1 and find a different pair of abilities to go to a level in like World 4 to access a crystal shard that I want to get 100%. But then if I'm also sitting here being like the game is too short and that is something that adds length to the game, then it's like, well, what the fuck do you want, you moody prick? So maybe I should just shut up. But like trying to go for all the shards, there's a lot of those like every level has 3 crystal shards in it that you can find and collect, and most are fairly easy to find, but some of them will be behind like a wall or a fucking whatever the shit, and you need to get an ability or maybe a pair of abilities from enemies to access it. And it's nice that it tells you what ability you need. It'll be behind like a yellow and brown wall, and that's telling you need electric stone combination, and I like that it tells you, but I do find it a little bit frustrating that there are instances where the abilities you need to access the shards aren't in the level you're in.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Well, okay, I don't have time for that." But that said, that is kind of a thing that like we had never seen in a Kirby game before that I think is really a kind of a cool concept. The fact that you can combine the abilities.
Oh yeah, and we were talking about that a little bit on the intro, like the combining of the abilities is really cool. The one thing with them, and a couple of people mentioned it, and I didn't really think of it till I was reading their comments. it it's great that you can combine abilities, and we're going to talk about those. It does kind of give this like, it almost feels like there's more combinations than there are because there'll be multiple enemies that all have the same ability. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
I can eat 4 different electric enemies, and at the end of the day, I'm just getting the electric ability from all of them.
Yeah.
But that being said, it is a Nintendo 64 game. They were limited. I think that's the ingredient that puts this game over the top is the combining of abilities.
There's
It's
7
just
abilities and you can combine them or you can double them up. And it's kind
yeah.
of cool like some of the powers you get when you double up some of the powers. Like I really liked the fire one where, like when you're a fireball, you can like turn into a fireball and like like sprint forward slightly, or you can get two fire enemies and turn into like, I don't know, like this phoenix where you just kind of like soar across the screen in like this like massive flame, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I liked that as well. My favorite doubling down ability was the needle, because when you double down, Kirby just had like all this shit sticking out of him. Like it looked like he
Yeah,
had like a corkscrew, and I thought that was very cool. That was
I thought that
easily
was
the funnest
charming.
part of the game, was just playing with the different combinations. Uh and just sorry to go back to the collecting shards for a second. I like that some shards are hidden behind a wall where again it tells you like you need, fire and bomb to break the wall. I like that it tells you. Frankly, I wouldn't 100%ed it if it didn't tell me what ability I need to break the wall. If it was like, hey, there's fucking 40 different combinations, start comboing. Like I'd be like, I'm not getting your fucking shards. Like I like that it gives you the hint. It is frustrating that sometimes the ability you need isn't in the level. And I'm gonna be honest, buddy. Like I got about 80% of the way through this game before I realized that any time I could pause, hit try. I thought try again. When you pause, you can click continue or try again. And I assumed try again meant start the level over. Try again takes you back to the map. And so if I get to a point where I need spark and fire to get a fucking shard, then I can go back to like level 1 or level 2, get spark and fire, make the combination I need, then stop or hit pause, go to try again. I'll leave the level with the abilities I picked up, then go back to the level with the shard I need. And then as soon as I get the shard, hit pause, try again. And I have the shard and I don't have to play through the whole level again. And I didn't realize that for like 3/4 of the game. So
Oh,
at the
dude,
amount of
I
time,
didn't realize that at all. What the fuck?
yeah,
Why is try again go to the map?
I know. So the amount of like, why does it not say return to map or something? The amount of time I wasted just running through levels, like I'd get like, say the first shard of 3 was the one I needed. And I got second and third, and then I know I need that first shard. So then I go back, and then I don't have the ability I need to get the first one. So then I play through the whole level again to then go back to level 1 to get the ability I need. Then I play through all of level 1 again, then fly back to this one and then get the shard. When the whole time I could have just been pausing and trying again and leaving as soon as I was done what I wanted. And I was just, again, like, that's great system, but why? And it probably said it in the instruction book. My issue isn't with the fact that it didn't tell me the game. It's that try again doesn't sound like leave the level and go back to the main world.
Well, and that's the thing. Like Nintendo, like I imagine you played Nintendo Online, yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't have the fucking instruction manuals for these anymore. Like, I'm starting to think like maybe they should include those with Nintendo Switch Online.
Or maybe they should work on their fucking translation and not use the term try
Try
again.
again for return to map. What the
I
fuck?
I'll tell you this right now, Kirby, you fucking robust prick. I 100%ed your game and I will never try it again because I'm done. The only thing that's over is this transmission. So, but all that said though, like I did like that this is an easy game. It's Kirby for the most part. It's a pretty easy
Yeah,
game.
like there's like it was like Celebrity Jeopardy easy at some points.
Yeah, but I like that the shards weren't all about about 2 out of 3 of them were basically just sitting there and pretty easy to get. But I like that there were a few that you had to work for a little bit.
Yeah,
Enough to make you sweat is a loose term when it comes to Kirby, but sweat a little bit. Did any of the levels give you any like? Even we were talking about the mine. Oh, because that's one thing I wanted to talk about. We were talking about the minecart levels. I'm a huge Donkey Kong fan, the old Donkey Kong Country games, and it was so funny playing these minecart levels in Kirby 64 and just seeing them Kirbified. Like even the minecarts aren't really that hard.
yeah,
Like you can't
yeah.
really fall off the track. 3 out of 4 obstacles. Like if it doesn't give you the little like warning to jump, then it's like you hit them and you just kind of climb over and keep going.
Yeah, like you lose a little bit of health, and then
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. It's just so it doesn't mean a fucking thing. And I thought that was pretty funny.
That said,
So,
though, did you have trouble with any levels?
not that I can really think of outside of the final, both the final boss and the optional boss if you get all the shards. Neither one gave me a ton of trouble, but they fucked me around a little bit.
Okay, so I didn't get all the shards. I didn't know I didn't know about the like true final boss.
Yeah. It's like It's almost a little bit Star Foxy. You like go into the sky with that fairy thing and you fight this like cloud thing and you have to shoot. It's shooting like, so your camera is positioned behind Kirby and you're shooting into the game. Like, do you know what like you're shooting ahead,
Okay,
not
so like kind of like
sideways.
it's a bit of an on rail shooter then.
Yeah, you're shooting like deeper into the screen and it's there shooting up toward the screen at you. And it's just very tedious because you have to keep shooting this cloud in the eye till you give it pink eye. And then once it gets pink eye, then it lowers its head. Then you can shoot a halo that's on its head. And then once you break the halo, then it floats upside down and exposes its tail. And then you hit its tail. And if you shoot that enough, you kill it.
Okay,
And
well
it's not.
that sounds like a much better final boss than the one I fought, because like I fought the final dark matter boss, and like it took me a few tries, but like wasn't anything too crazy. And then the game just kind of ended, and I'm like, oh well, that
Are
felt very
you
anticlimactic.
are you talking about the boss that just randomly pulls out like one of the abilities?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, like, I didn't find him overly hard. He's this floating cloud, and he'll go like, I'm using the cut ability, and so then he's flying around and he's green and he's throwing the cut blades at you. Then he'll use the needle ability and he'll sit at the center of the screen and shoot a bunch of needles out. And I really liked the concept because every time he does one of his attacks, you have the ability to swallow whatever he's using and then get that ability to attack him with. But I did find that like after he killed me 2 or 3 times, but once you learn what all of his attacks are, that you can do it in your sleep.
Then it just becomes like pattern recognition.
Yeah. And so in that note, I will say, yeah, the shard boss is better. Like it is a better final boss. But other than that, the one boss that gave me just a little bit of problems was the one at the top of the volcano or the mountain or whatever it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah,
where you're
like that
running around
one.
that circle.
There was a few times like I was playing that, I was like, what am I supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah. And
And
I was
there were a few moments in this game that were just kind of like, I feel like if I lost, it wasn't because like of anything I did. It's just because the situation was not properly explained to me.
I agree, but I also I'm sitting there and this game is fucking killing me. Mostly boss fights, and it's killing me. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, I can't get mad that I'm losing at a Kirby game, can I? Like I'm looking around, there's nobody else in the basement but me. And I was like, if this was like a fucking Donkey Kong game or something, I'd be like, this is such fucking horseshit. Fuck you. But I'm like, it's Kirby. I refuse to get angry dying at a Kirby game. But that volcano boss came close. Where I just was like, God, and it's not even that hard. It's really not that hard. I don't know about you. Where I found I was dying in these boss fights was because they're very slow. And I'm like, come on. And then I would make a mistake and get hit. And
Yeah.
that would piss
Yeah.
me off.
And saying, you know what? And the same thing happened to me with that like giant robot boss.
Which one's that? The giant robot boss.
It was like the second last one, I think. And it was the one that like guy went into like, it was kind of like an Eggman ish suit, and he was like shooting lasers
Oh
at
yeah,
you.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was just because they're not I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that they're like fucking 20-minute God of War fights, but like,
No, like once you get the rhythm of it, you're like, oh, okay, so I do
yeah.
this. Like it's not hard.
But a lot of the end of world boss fights in Kirby, you can't just kamikaze it. Like you need to wait for the opportunity to be able to attack. And if you've died once or twice, like say you go in there with 2 hits and then you die while you're learning the pattern, you're like, all right. Maybe you die one more time, you're like, all right. And then you're like, okay, let's go. Let's fucking get this done. Let's go. And then you're starting like, I don't know if I'm horrible for this. I'll try to sneak in like one more hit before they go into defense or attack mode or
Yes,
something.
yes.
And then
And
I'll
then
take
that's
a
where
hit
they
instead.
get you.
And if I fuck, I'm embarrassed that I'm gonna sit here and compare Kirby to Dark Souls right now. I'm embarrassed, but this is why I can't play Dark Souls games because I get frustrated and I get impatient, and then I try to sneak in one more attack before it attacks me, and it blows up in my face, and I know it's gonna fuck me, and it does fuck me, and then I get even more angry and try to hurry even faster, and then everything's gone. And it's
Yeah.
not so bad
Oh
when
my
it's Kirby.
god. Oh my god. That's I do the same shit. And like in a Kirby game, you'll kind of get a but like fucking Dark Souls games, like that's exactly why I couldn't play Elden Ring. I that was I got to the first boss and it was just like it was just rocking me and I'm like, well, okay, well there's like a strategy to this and then I looked it up online and they're like, well actually you're supposed to be at level 30 by the time you get
Yeah,
there. And I'm
yeah,
like, well
yeah.
I'm not. I mean this is the first boss. What the fuck?
I I hate 75% of boss fights. Like just I'm prejudiced against bosses.
See,
Like
I
I
love
hate
boss fights. I think boss
oh
fights are like usually like the most fun thing of any level. Like it's the kind of like cherry on the top of the sundae.
oh god, I hate them. But I hate them because I lose my patience. And then instead of waiting and picking my spots, like I would be a horrible. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but you're classier than me. Like fencing, like the sport fencing with the little poker sticks. My
Yeah.
understanding is that is very much a like cat and mouse, pick your spot, patience wins. And I don't have that. Like I'm like I just like
No,
like it
I'd be
just
like, yeah,
run like
I just want to hit the guy. Just let me hit the
yeah.
guy.
And that's where boss fights fuck me up. And in Kirby, that's where I what makes me angry isn't that I'm not winning, it's that it's fucking Kirby. And I'm like, like I could put the controller down and after 5 minutes the game will be like, "You know what? We're going to let you win. We feel bad for you." Like it'll just put me through. But instead I try to rush, then I die, then I get mad and then the snowball just fucking goes. So yeah, that fucking volcano that guy can eat my fucking ass. Okay, I want to get into more of the combos. I want to talk about Mr. DDD because he's awesome. We have a couple more things to touch on, so let's take a break here because I got to sneak it in. We'll sneak an ad in here. Quick, if you're a Patreon, no ad. We'll be back in 3 seconds. If you are not a Patreon, enjoy this ad or hit skip or whatever you got to do, and we'll be right back. So one thing we didn't get to before the break was King Dedede. I want to say I'm disappointed that you don't get to fight King Dedede in this one, but I actually like that you kind of become friends in this one. And I
Yeah,
love the
I mean I like how they did it in the Forgotten Land the best because like DDD is your friend, but like also you have to fight him at one point because he's like corrupted. But like this
yeah.
is cool. Like you get to like walk or like it felt good to like go through levels as DDD with the hammer, just smashing shit. And I kind of wish that there was more of it.
I do too. Not only is it awesome, not only is it rad that you get to play like riding on DDD in some levels, but I love the part where you get it like when you get into an area where you're going to use King DDD. I love that you'll get into a part and then he'll just come like running into the room and he stops and he turns around, like he'll run past Kirby and then he'll put on the brakes and then he'll turn around and he'll look at Kirby and he'll just give him like a quick like come on, and then Kirby will jump on his back and ride him through, and you're smashing shit with his hammer. And I'm like, I don't know. I've always like, is anyone out there not like King D? Is it possible to not like King DDD?
King
Like he's
DDD is
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah. And so to actually see him be like, come on, dipshit. Like the way he does it is, I feel like he's just like, come on,
There's so much
dipshit, get on.
character in it.
Yeah.
It's
I love
you
it.
can tell like they're adversarial, but he's also kind of like, okay, no, we're doing this together. Like it
Yes.
is in my best interest that you succeed. And like that's kind of what's frustrating about the lack of story in this game. It's like it feels like there's a hint of a story here and I want to know what it is.
Yeah, agreed. I love those scenes with DDD. I love playing as him. No different. I guess it's a spoiler for Mario Odyssey, a minor one, but like the game's fucking like 7 or 8 years old now.
Yeah,
It's just
like
like when you get to use Bowser in King Odyssey or in Mario Odyssey. Like I always love it when heroes and villains team up. I always love that.
yeah.
And it's and to see the villain come in and not just like shake your hand and be like, all right, we're friends now, but to be like, come on. And he's just like, I know you fucking need me. Get on my back. Let's go. And you don't get to use him as like even like when you don't get to use him as the whole level, you get to the end of his segment and then he like grabs Kirby and like whips him through the door into the next
Just
area. Like
throws him. It's so it's so fucking cool.
it's just like, get out of here. He's like, I can't believe I've lost to you.
Yeah.
Like throws you through the fucking door. And then an extra perk of King DDD is I love when you beat every time you beat a level, because like most Kirby games have something you do at the end of the level, like Kirby's Adventure on the NES has something where you're up in the clouds and Kirby falls on like a cloud that's like a slingshot, and the closer to like its maximum stretch you get before you push A, the higher into the clouds Kirby shoots, and the higher into the clouds you get, the better item you get. And in this one, it's not nearly as like, it's very easy, but I love it. Whenever you beat a level, the fairy person, that painting girl. Oh yeah, we got to talk about her. The painting girl and King Dedede are like sitting around having a picnic, and the blanket is just covered in like a bunch of food, and then there's like a one up, and Kirby like is getting ready to do the long jump, and he's kind of rotating back and forth, and you just hit A at the angle you want to jump, and at the whatever, like how deep into his squat he is, and he'll jump that far in that direction. And that's all well and good. But did you notice that while they're sitting around that picnic blanket, DDD is on the end just two-fisting chickens?
Yeah, I really fucking like that.
Like the rest of your team's like happy to see you, and King DDD's just sitting in the end with a drumstick in each hand, just fucking mowing down.
Yeah, fucking. The painter girl. Now forgive me. Like, this is a stupid question. Have we seen her before or since?
My knowledge of Kirby is very, very thin. I'm not aware of her.
Yeah, like I would never call myself a Kirby fan. I play all of the games once, but I don't remember this character coming up in any, unless she did, in which case I'm an idiot. But
No, I'm looking it up right now so that we don't get people writing in and being like, "Oh, well, actually, she was a background character in Kirby's Adventure in the fucking blah blah." I'm looking for her right now. I don't even see her. It says on the Wikipedia page her name is Adeline, but then I don't see her popping up here.
like anywhere else.
I don't know. I don't care. It's fucking Kirby. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
But all that said, she is cool in this game. I like that, like, you run into her at times and she'll paint like some food, and then the food will come to life, and then she'll like
And
throw
you
you a
get to eat the
power up.
food, yeah. And it's like
Very,
a one up, or it's a power up, or
yeah, charming little pick me up. The one thing, dude, I'm embarrassed at how long I got stuck at that fucking level where she paints three things and you have to go into the next room and hit those three colored switches.
Oh,
Because
really?
I got to the point where I like looked it up because I was like, what in the fuck is this thing? And I found a guide, and they're like, she randomly will paint three of the random things. So I had to find a list of all seven. And I think what it was one of them was green and I thought it was brown or something, but I got stuck there for like two of them I got. And then the third one, I was like, if you've never played it, there's one part in this game where you go into a room and Adeline is in the background and she paints three shapes, and it was like a cherry, an orange, and then something. Then you go into the next room and there's like 7 or 8 colored buttons, and you have to push the 3 colors of the 3 things she just painted. And if you get it wrong, then you have to walk back into the room she's painting in, and then go back into the button room. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fool, but I got stuck there for a long fucking time.
Maybe it's just because like I've been playing nothing but Zelda my entire life, but like I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, like that thing is about that thing. Okay.
Yeah, like I got the cherry and the orange, but the third thing, to this moment, I have no idea what the fuck that third thing was.
Oh,
I have no fucking idea. It looked like ice cream. I don't know what the fuck it was. But I was like, so then I started second guessing that like maybe the orange wasn't an orange. Maybe it was like a grape or something. And so then I'm hitting those colors, and I got stuck there I was like, again, and then I'm looking around my fucking basement being like, I can't rage at fucking Kirby, right? Like this, I can't, God damn it. So
yeah, but like every now and then, because that was the frustrating thing about this game, is it went from Celebrity Jeopardy easy to like, oh, what the fuck? Where did that come from?
yeah. Yeah,
Like,
every
and
once
when
in a
it was
while.
hard, it was like, no, you can't be hard. You've been so easy up until this point. Why are you suddenly doing this to me?
Yeah, every once in a while it would throw a little bit of a curveball at you. But for the most part,
and then like then you'd like keep going with the game and be like, oh, okay, well, this is easy.
Yeah. For the most part, like the levels are easy. Most of the enemies get killed in one hit, and you can swallow them all up and eat them and kill them. You can just do the thing where you fly and puff air at them and kill them. And that's one of the things that makes Kirby so easy as well. Is like it's really hard to fall down a hole and die in this game because you can fly for so long. Plus, Kirby's always got like 6 hits at the bottom, and like it's not like Mario where you have 2 hits and you're dead. Kirby's always got that full health bar, and it's so easy to find food to fill it up all the time. Like it's and then every time you beat a level, you're getting a one up at the picnic blanket if you want it. Plus, it's got that thing where you're picking up those little star thingies throughout the game that are filling up that meter under your health, and every time it fills up, you're getting a one up. Like they're doing their best to make sure you don't lose here.
Yeah.
So
Well,
so
and
when it
even if
does
you do
those,
lose, like I got game overs a couple of times, and like even if you game over, it's like okay, well you get to start again at the same level.
yeah, it's pretty fucking forgiving. Not to mention too, like most Kirby games, it's got the mid bosses, like the bigger versions of the regular enemies, like in the
Yeah, though,
middle of levels all the
it felt
time.
like they had. It felt like, and it's the only part of this game. Like, there's parts of this game where I'm like, oh, they weren't finished this game. We're on a deadline. They had to get it out the door. They had these big versions of these enemies there as kind of like place fillers. It feels like because when you fought them, it'd be like, oh, this is just the easiest thing.
Yeah, but I mean, but they're in a lot of the Kirby games though, where you'll fight like a big version of a regular boss, and I I gotta say I hate those boss fights when I don't have a special ability and I have to wait for them to do the whatever attack they're gonna do to give me something to throw at them. But is it how satisfying is it when you go into one of those boss fights with like a badass weapon or a badass combo and it's over in like half a second? Like
Yeah,
they
you just rock
you
their
don't
shit
even
like
move.
immediately.
Yeah, you just mash and you just fucking destroy them. We haven't really talked much about abilities. We should really talk more about those. Did you have a favorite combo?
Um,
Because I,
You know what?
uh,
My favorite move was just the two fireball, like the two
yeah,
fires.
yeah, because you would just go all fucking
Is
Phoenix
like
on everybody.
there was no defense against it. It just took out half the screen. It was
Yeah, I liked. My favorite was probably the. Did you get the lightsaber thing? It was
yeah,
like fuck.
it
It was
was
electric and needle, I think. And you
yeah.
got like the dual ended, like the dual lightsaber thing that you
Yeah, you
fucking
got
walk
like
around
the
with.
Darth Maul lightsaber.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty
that was
badass.
cool.
Yeah. I gotta say too, in old school Kirby, like Kirby's Adventure, my favorite I love the hammer and I love the sword. And I just thought of this now talking about it. Like I know you can get the big flame sword and stuff in this one, but I'm a little disappointed that like some of the classic abilities were removed. Like maybe it's because they had limitations on what they could do on the cartridge. But like I love hammer and you couldn't get the hammer in this one, for example. I
Yeah,
just thought of that. That pissed me off.
yeah, like in it, or it was they were just going in kind of a different direction for this one, which
Y-
that's all right. They
Yeah,
like
I just
I think they had like spaces for seven of them, and they probably are like okay. They probably wanted to put the hammer in, but they're like, okay, but how are we going to implement this? How are we going to combine this with other stuff? And
yeah,
they were just like, okay, well, we just won't do the hammer this time.
no, yeah. Instead, we're like, let's put 8 different fucking stone enemies in, you bastards. Um, yeah, but no, but
Stone
but
was my least
I
favorite, I've got to say.
what's that?
The Stone, I think, was my least favorite. As
Yeah,
classic
stone
as it
sucks.
is, Stone was kind of like, oh, okay.
The only cool thing about stone is, especially when you get two and you turn into like different creatures.
Yeah.
Like, and that was kind of neat. There was actually one shard where I had to look up how to get it because it was up really high. And it said get the dual stone ability and then keep transforming till you turn into the hamster, and then you can climb up the wall. And I don't know if none of the other abilities could do it, but I did get him climbing up the wall with the hamster.
Oh, you could do that? I didn't know you could
I
do
didn't know that
that.
either until there. But other than that, I agree. Stone is the crappiest. Stone sucks. I liked when I think if you got double ice, you could turn into like a giant snowball and just start rolling.
Yeah, I liked Double Ice. That was
Yeah.
fun.
It was boring, but you fuck some people up with that double ice.
Yeah.
The big flame sword was pretty cool. Another ability I really like in most Kirby games that I had a hard time wrapping my head around in this one is cutter, like the boomerang cutter blade.
Yeah, that was never like I liked it, but it was never my favorite.
No, and outside of this game, it's usually one of my go-tos, but this one, I think what it was just like you threw like part of Kirby's head, and then you just got stuck with your dick in your hand until it came back.
Yeah, yeah, whereas like in other games you'd use the cutter and it was like a projectile.
Yeah. Yeah. So I found that a little bit annoying. Also, I have to say, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but like I think the bomb sucks. I think the bomb has always sucked. It had a couple of decent uses in this one if you combined it with the right ability, but like is there anyone out there that of all the Kirby abilities you're looking to use bomb? Bomb's garbage.
Yeah, yeah, it was like
Except for
you know what I like to like just by itself? Just like the spikes.
yeah, I
Just
like
try
that
to
one
like
too.
I thought that was like a really overpowered move so often. Like you just be going through and you're like, oh, there's an enemy spikes. Oh,
Yeah,
another enemy spikes.
especially when you have the double up and then you just get like huge. And I actually, you know what? I should say too, I really like that it lets you double up. Like it would have been it's the comboing on its own is a great gimmick, but that it lets you double up on them, it would have been so easy to just be like, you already have bomb, you're not getting a second bomb. But
Yeah.
instead to let you get two bombs, and then it goes from like instead of just being able to throw a bomb, I might be wrong, but I think it was I hated the ability because it was impractical to use. I think if you got double bomb, you would throw like a bunch of dynamite out, and then if you held down, you would hide under your like hard hat, and when that dynamite went off, it just killed everything. But it wouldn't hurt you.
Oh,
And I
was it like spike and bomb you like could combine and you could just like be shooting out fucking dynamite all the time?
yeah, I can't remember if it was that or if it was double bomb. But because there's a
Maybe
lot of
it might.
abilities.
Yeah, there's a lot of ability. There's actually like a lot that like I don't know if I saw. Like what happens if you combine fire and ice?
I'm looking at it right now. You get burning ice, but I don't remember what burning ice did. Oh, I can click it. Burning ice. Because I may not have gotten them all. Like, so I'm looking right now. There's 7 abilities. So it's a 7x7 chart. So there's 49 different things. Burning ice. Kirby encases himself in an ice cube before flames melt it away by pressing B. I don't think I ever used that one.
Me
The
neither.
fire
I don't
and
think I ever
steam
got
from the
that
melting
one.
ice. What's that?
I don't think I ever got that one.
The fire and steam from the melting ice can defeat enemies at close range. See, and this is like, it's one thing for you and I to sit here as a couple of like old men and be like, the abilities are neat, but it's a pain that I have to go back and find different abilities to do different things. If I'd had this game when I was like 8 years old, like I know some of our younger listeners did, because again, this came out when I was like 16. If this game had come out when I was like 7 or 8 years old, the amount of time I would have spent going through just trying different combinations would have been and at the end of the day, that's who Kirby is
That's
aimed
who
at.
it's for, yeah.
I would have been obsessed with this game as a kid. I loved Kirby's Adventure and Kirby's Superstar as a kid. Had I had this one, there would have been nothing better than just trying all the different abilities.
Man, and you know what? I don't think I like other than Smash Brothers, I don't think I played a Kirby game until college.
Oh wow.
Like Kirby's
Jesus.
Adventure, that was like the
How
first Kirby game
how
I
are
ever
you the more cultured of the two of us? With no Kirby. My God. I don't know. I always like it's what I feel like I say this every time we talk Kirby, but like they're always fun. It's just it's they're so easy, and like and I want to say like that's not even necessarily a bad thing. It's
like every
sometimes
now
it's
and then,
nice.
like like as an adult, like life is stressful. Like every now and then, just like if they give you a game where it's like just press B to win, it's just like I'm special. Boop.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to just pick up a game and go through on autopilot. I will I will die on the hill that I truly in my soul believe Kirby and Yoshi games should come with a hard mode or an adult mode or something to get like give me a little bit more pushback. I will say I thought Kirby in the Forgotten Land really nailed it. It wasn't super hard, but I had to pay attention and I love that game. Uh
Yoshi's Crafted World had a mode where like you could go do the level backwards.
See, that was one that I ended up quitting that one because I just found it too easy. I love the graphics I love the concept, but I was like, come
I played
on.
it once and I'm like, that was fun. And then like it's still it's still sitting on my shelf. It's been sitting on my shelf for I don't know 6-7 years whenever that
Yeah.
came out.
But this one, and I gotta say, man, I like. I'm not gonna. Is Kirby 64 gonna make my 100 favorite games of all time list? No. Like, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna plunk down for a physical copy of it for my personal collection or anything like that. But I will. I'll tell you, buddy. Like, I genuinely liked this game more than I expected to.
Yeah, yeah. Like there are
Like,
parts of this game where I'm like kind of like, oh fuck this game, but like then there are parts of this game where like, you know what, this is charming. There are good things in this world.
I had fun. Like I was playing it in Calgary, like at night after the work in the expo booth all day. Like I go back to my hotel room and just sit there and play it for a little while to unwind. And I was like, this is
It's
very,
a great unwind game. It is a
great
great
unwind
unwind
game.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty impressed actually. I thought it was a solid game. The hardest thing about reviewing a game like this is it's clearly aimed toward an age younger than me, and
Yeah.
nostalgia is a powerful drug. We had people writing in being like, this is one of my 10 favorite N64 games. This game is my childhood. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I get it because I have those games from when I was a kid too. I'm just old. And so like this is past my childhood. Like my Nintendo 64 memories are wrestling games and GoldenEye and you know, and that kind of stuff.
Like
But
Banjo-Kazooie and like
right.
Zelda and Mario and yeah.
So it can be hard to look at it through the lens of someone that's got that nostalgic attachment to it. But I'll say as a 41-year-old who played it for the first time over the last like 10 days, uh I I I I have this gripe with Kirby because of Kirby's Dream Land. And now I'm like thinking back and I'm like, I have yet to play with the exception of the fact that Kirby's Dream Land stole my birthday and Christmas money for being too easy. I have yet to have like a bad experience with a Kirby game.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
You know, like
exactly
they're
like
just charming
they're
little
just
games.
the right level. Like they've just tuned to the right level. Like nobody's like no a Kirby game's never gonna win game of the year. But it's also never going to be like that was the worst piece of shit I've ever played. It's always
Yeah.
the Kirby games are always gonna be Kirby games.
Oh, I gotta just say too, I was disappointed in the lack of Meta Knight. That pissed me
Yeah,
off. Meta Knight's awesome. That pissed me off. If
yeah.
you have King Dedede there, double fisting fucking chicken breasts and like helping you, you tell me Meta Knight could have had a cameo somewhere. Come on. But
Yeah.
I'm just nitpicking now. I didn't even touch I know it has like a multiplayer mode, but
There's
I
a
never even touched
multiplayer
it.
mode?
Yeah, I assume it's just like
Like a
mini games
little
is.
like it's a like a little brother mode
Oh
or
yeah, it says here a multiplayer game mode can be accessed from the main menu. Here, up to 4 players can compete in 3 mini games: 100-yard hop, a race to the finish line; bumper crop bump, a competition to collect food; and checkerboard chase, a last man standing game.
Oh man, that actually sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, checkerboard chase sounds rad. Yeah.
Yeah, like I should have. I had no idea. I'm gonna have to go back and play some of those.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up because if I didn't want to get hit with the like, why don't you bring in the multiplayer? Because I have no friends. I've told you this. Oh, another ability I liked was when you combined the fire and the needle, and you could shoot the arrows.
Yeah, that was cool.
So I just wanted to say that one. I found that one hard to land my attack with, but I liked it. So, anyways, I'm good. Looks good. Music's fine. Plays good. It's good. It's good.
It's
It's
good.
Kirby.
That's
It's
it.
good.
That's it. It's not great. It's good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
You got anything else? You good?
Yeah. The game's good. I'm good.
All right. Let's go. There's 49 combos if you include the doubling ups. So let's go with that. Out of 49, how many combos abilities would you give Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards? Also, can I just say, I'm proud that we made it this whole thing without making a single Crystal Shard joke. I made one in the
Oh wow,
intro.
man! That didn't even occur to me.
See, that's why you're the more cultured one. Because
Crystal
I
Shard.
literally, when I was recording the intro for this one, I got about 90 seconds in and dropped a Shard joke. But that's it. And now I'm good. So out of 49 shards, how many shards or abilities, excuse me, are you giving Kirby? 64?
I'll give it a 40. Like that's kind of like it's hovering around 80%. This is a good B plus game.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm like, I don't know if I could fucking give it that high. And I am cranky. I am. The fucking medication I'm on has got me. I said it was going to cost him some points. So I'm going to give it. I'm taking points off for the lack of the sword ability and the lack of the hammer. I'm taking a couple of points off for the lack of Meta Knight. And I'm taking a couple points off because I'm fucking cranky. So I'm going to give it 36. It's good. It's like a 7 out of. I give it like a 7 out of 10. It's good. It's good.
Oh, that's reasonable.
It's good. It's not. I will say better than Donkey Kong 64. Hot take, perhaps. I don't care.
That's
Fuck
not a
that
hot
game.
take. Fuck Donkey Kong 64.
It's better than Donkey Kong 64. Come at me. I don't give a shit.
I love Donkey Kong. Fuck Donkey Kong 64.
Oh, fuck me. All right. Well, that's good. Mark, listen, thanks for doing this. And I have now an hour and 45 minutes to get this done. But that's lots of time. I'll get it up. And then tomorrow we'll do this again and talk Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
Perfect. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
And that is going to do it for this week's episode. Mark, thank you so much for giving me a shout to talk a little Kirby 64 and the Crystal Shards. Not Shards, Shards. It's so easy, though. That's right there. The Shards joke is right there. Anyways, Mark, thank you for talking Kirby 64 with me. And every single one of you nerds listening to this, thank you for listening to Mark and I talk Kirby 64. I appreciate it, whether this was your first Remember the Game or your 331st. There's a lot of us out there, a lot of retro gaming shows, and you rolled the dice on us, and that, my friend, makes you a winner. So thank you so much. If you want to win even more, you know I got to say it, patreon.com/rememberthegame. $3 a month gets you started. Not only, for $3, not only do you get Game Patch every Tuesday and Expansion Pass every Thursday, but you get Remember the Game every Wednesday, ad-free with timestamps. It's fucking aces. It is the bee's knees, as the kids say. And then if you go up to the $5 tier, then you also get Purple Monkey Dishwasher, our me and Mark McCue Simpson show every Monday, and you get the Rambling Idiot every couple of Fridays where I talk about whatever the fuck I want. You also can join the Discord and vote for the games we cover and so many other things. It's the greatest deal in the history of the internet. Patreon.com/rememberthegame. Leave the show a good review if you like it. I read the reviews, and when the good ones come up, they turn me on. My nipples get hard. And I like having hard nipples. So I appreciate the nice reviews. Please leave us a good one of those. And shout out again to everybody that came by the Calgary Expo booth. And I think I'm good. I got nothing else. I'm going to thank some patrons and shut this down. Thank you all so much for listening. If you are a Patreon, we will be back tomorrow with Expansion Pass, where we'll be talking about levels we hate or parts we hate in games we love. That's what we'll be talking about. May or may not be a Rambling Idiot this Friday, talking about the Calgary Expo. See if I can squeak that in or not. And then next week, 7 days from right now, we'll be Remember the Game 332. And if everything goes according to my very loosely laid out plans, we will be talking Hot Shots Golf. So hopefully that works out, okay? Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you. I care for most of you. I like a lot of you. I love one of you. And I'll talk to y'all later. Cheers. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I could not puke up all the content I turn out every week without all of your support. The following people are at the senior executive vice president level or higher at patreon.com/rememberthegame, which means A, they get access to the executive bathroom, and B, they get a shout out because I have to say their names as quickly as possible. So a huge thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer Slick Motherfucking Rick, Makeshift Metal Magic Money, Joe Buck, Sharonic, J Nasty 15, Jort King Keegs, Dan of Dissect That Film, Doug Dorn, Chris Fleury, Andrew Wright, Jordan, GoBots are sexier than Transformers, Little Bunny Fufu 89, Angry Ticks, Dave Thompson, No One Cares, Scott Brooks, Aaron Lawson, JSK Fusick, A-Town, Morgan, Zane Donovan, Ryan Kinchin, Mike Maloney, G9PSX, Mercury 869, Wolfgang, Darren, Andy Hudson, Doogie, Wolf Magic 21, Johnny from Virginia, Squints, Dean Donian, Titan 420, Zonko 504, Jeff Bergeron, Daniel, John Woodruff, Randy Barrage, Just a Fish, nice, Angles Claw, oh, that's a pull. Okay, I gotta, for those of you, oh my God, well done. I don't even know who the fuck you are, but well done. For those of you that don't know, real quick, Mark and I were talking about this on an episode of Purple Monkey Dishwasher, I think. There's this comedian here in Edmonton, And he wrote a book. He's not a very good comedian. He's kind of a weasel of a person. He's an older guy. But he wrote a book, and he pushes that book on fucking everybody. But he called the book The Angel's Claw. But on the first printing of his book, he had the title misspelled on the cover. So it was The Angle's Claw. So to this day, people bring up The Angle's Claw, and it rather upsets him. And we told that story last week, and now that's a Patreon. That fucking... I'm taking a picture of that to send to McCue. Fuck. Well done. Whoever you are, here's one get out of double secret probation free pass. Well fucking done. Holmes, Zach Shepard, Captain Black Silver, Triple, Chugger 22, Triple 3, Chugger 22, Elijah Burns, It's That Nerd, James, Madam Nutsitch, DBXJ, Jamil Williams, Steve Dalk, Standard Ass Brian, Dude, Where's My Game, Mizuru, Juris, Dr. Mario, Tyler, Phil Lencher, Joe the Sandman, Jake Carter, Laces Out, Dan, Growlywog, Beaver Boy, Thomas Smith, Leroy Restwich, Rush's Dog Walker, Stud Still Smash, Matt Babanu, Gabe, Fuzzy99, Decoy Man, a dude named Adam, Wyatt the Surgeon who is not a Surgeon Row, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Scary Terry, Storm Beagle, Archangel Otaku, Earl, Hagel Waffle, High Plains Drifter, Jimothy Oroku Saki's Gardner, Cody Richardson, General Fury. I use small words to help Adam say it more good. Thank you. Max Lagroom, James Juan Francesco, John of the Adult Children's Podcast, Mr. Arkansas, Drugs Are Bad. Drugs are bad, okay. Sam Carpenter, Donnie the Dude, Walter, Nerdy Hybrid, Sleeper Hit, Squeak Nuts, Isaiah Hits Meals, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Wimp of Stupid, Stooges, TTRPG, Christian Gabriel, Maverick Marty, Busty Beetle, Graham Kennedy, Timothy Sabrinsky, My Left Nut, Beef Dingleberry, Quiet Place Queen, Christopher Britt, Zamatos, Big the Cat, Tadpole, T-Bear 87, Adam Needs to Play Bowser's Fury, Brandon DeZeba, Kia Pup, Monstrous D Boner, AB Kellen Works for Me, Ted Explosion, Ryan Perry, Alex R, Itchy Nutsuru, Please Refrain from Tasting the Knob, Scotty J, Just Car Pranks, Rated X, Darth Skywalter, Postman, Nick Creature, Adam Marnett, The Big Deal. Now here's the thing, I still have 100 shoutouts to go. I'm going to send this to Mark right now and just see if he writes back before I'm done the shoutouts. This fucking Patreon name. Someone has Angle's Claw as a Patreon handle now. All right. I just want to see if Mark writes back. Oh, let's keep going. Ryan Donahue, Kevin Monroe, Can't Destroy Her, Pee-wee Squitters, Nordak, Leroy Jenkins, Lord Palmerston, Beers of War, Because19, Infinity Rage, Marcus Mendoza, Lord Longrod von Hugendom II, Roger Staubox, Pool Cleaner, Lucas Shaman, Frosty Bear, Max Sandin, Sour Goatface, Alex Ramos, Faded Sufferance, Benjamin Atkins, Carbon Fiber Zombie, Chris Hill is a scared, that could be anyone's ass. B Money, Penguin Milk, Fallen Snow Kiku, The Supreme Chozo Rizzo, You son of a bitch, why? Tell me why. E-Man Trucker, Mark Sneed, Shoeboxers, Adam Blank still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy, Jay Callahan, Robbie Ayer, Sabin, Brian Richmond, Blobby Rogers, Bula, Mad Zeus, Too Much Karma, Plow King, Cesar, Fill Up My Mouth with Farts, Liquor Like Luigi, Cody Thompson, Kevin Kellums, Put It in Age, Chaz Hammond, Mr. Jabroni, Big Daddy Randall, Adi Yellow, Ryan Whitcomb, Justin Tate, Daddy Secret Little Chubby, Nothing Could Possibly Go Wrong, Toby O.P., Scotty McGee, Alex McIntyre, Spider Cat, S. Eric Hopewell, Darbles, Generic Name 238, Girthworm Jim, David Schroeder, Muncal, Diablo Spartan, excuse me, Justin Blair, McCracken, Wilco, VOS Rager, Super Jess, Captain Steve N, Ryan Stemmerding, Conebread, Wrecked Ralpy, Dazerath, Super Saiyan, Safarioth, Savage Booth, Boosh, The Grim Patron, MacGyver88, Travis Sanders, Lord Salazar, Flater Flav, Captain Asbury Juice, Doogie Bowser MD, Thunder Leaps, Legendberry, Jinxie425, Akira's Network, Horrorstalgia, a podcast, Game Boy Ganon, Fancy Store-Bought Dirt, Botfucker, Mikey Hag, Shane's World, Trooper Galactus, Exotic Chaotic, Just James, Spooky Dookie, and Profound. And Mark did write back, just in all cap letters, dude, no way. Fucking Speed and his stupid Angle's Claw. That made my day. It was a fun episode. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it sucked on your end, but it was fun over here. So thanks, everybody. Talk to you later. Goodbye.